Jai Guruji everyone. This is our ninth satsang from the book Light of Divinity. This satsang belongs to an auntie whose name is not mentioned in the book, and the title goes like the sun rising suddenly on a sodden landscape. It is not within our capacity or competence to put into words the supremacy of our Guru. For how can I or we do justice in cold words to his colossal divinity? However, in the sincere tribute of love and reverence for Guruji, Auntie wants to share her experience of supreme blessings with Guruji's approval. The path we seek is not different from the summit of salvation, the purpose of our being. The journey from seeking to reaching this summit is a cinch of for those who entrust their reins in the hands of their Guru. For we are not pathfinders, but followers. Auntie was born into a Jat Sikh family. Her family had to its credit happiness, tasteful living, good education, and discipline. Throughout her childhood, she had always been influenced by her grandfather, a devout follower of his faith and of his master. Slowly, the import of finding a guru dawned on Auntie. Auntie was married into a Jat Sikh family. Her husband was the only son after three daughters in the family and was brought up with a lot of affection, which he seemed to have taken for granted. He learned to have his ways. To his negligence towards the family and the lack of responsibility towards himself can perhaps be attributed to his fondness for alcohol, his major problem. It is a dream of every girl to be happily married, and Auntie was no exception. But when a family is haunted with alcoholism, nothing is any longer in anyone's control, and worldly fetters and problems become insurmountable. The burden of responsibility and Auntie's unhappiness soon disillusioned her. During that time, her grandfather visited her. Her inner turmoil reached out to him without words, and he assumed she needed some help. Her eyes filled up with tears, and she told him that she wanted him to pray for her to find a Puran Guru, that is, a complete and a perfect master. However hard a mortal being may try, she cannot find an enlightened master. The master finds her when she is ready to tread his path. Shortly, Auntie's mother took her to visit Guruji in Chandigarh. From the moment she stepped into the Guruji's place, she could smell roses, and the sight of him flooded her eyes with tears. For the next few hours that she sat there, tears kept streaming down her eyes. Many times after first meetings with Guruji, she could not control the outburst of emotions, and she simply could not understand why. Every time she visited Guruji, she experienced a peace that passed understanding. It was as if that flood of tears was singularly transforming her by some alchemic cleansing. In the meantime, her husband began to drink more. He lost all the senses of responsibility and was squandering money. She tried telling him about Guruji and also persuaded him to meet Guruji. He laughed at her, saying such gurus were a dime a dozen, and teased her. Around November 1999, her husband was posted to Lebanon on a UN mission. There his drinking problem worsened and he was diagnosed with cirrhosis of her liver. The world fell apart. Auntie took the first flight to be with uncle. The doctors clearly stated that his liver had packed up and that he would require transplant within 2 years. To find a donor in such a short time was near impossibility. Even if the donor was found, a transplant would have been exorbitant and in many cases unsuccessful. Doctors cautioned her husband that even a single drop of alcohol taken henceforth would prove fatal. Meanwhile, her parents kept going to Guruji and praying for her husband's life. After being in the hospital for a few weeks, they came back to Delhi. Auntie requested uncle to meet Guruji. He did come, but all the while he was sitting there, he sat in the corner and complained of how tired he was and how Auntie had forced him to come. The same night, Auntie approached Guruji and was full of emotions that she could hardly speak. Her mother and Auntie prayed in front of Guruji to save her husband, and Guruji replied, "How can I help him? He is a non-believer." In the days that followed, Auntie would visit Guruji alone because her husband would never accompany her. One night after returning from Guruji's place, while Auntie was fast asleep, a sudden great force like a swooshing wind entered her room. Auntie was so scared that she sat upright in her bed and started saying her prayers with her closed eyes. She experienced white light piercing the darkness and flooding the center of her forehead. Guruji was within that white light. Guruji said he would come and cure her husband now. In the 15-20 minutes that followed, Auntie smelt nauseating odors similar to those that emanate from the operating rooms. After a while, everything cleared up and she went back to sleep. Guruji told Auntie that he had blessed her husband. At the time of writing, 6 years have passed since that day, and Auntie's husband continues to drink relentlessly, keeping in mind what the doctors had said. Her family and Auntie are amazed at how Guruji is looking after him day and night. Her husband, in his own way, believes and recognizes the gift of life given to him by Guruji. The time-tested scriptures of the world all agree that before a man is born, the day of his death is ascertained, and that no one can grant him even a breath more. However, the power to burn man's karmas lies with the Supreme Creator. Guruji is that cosmic director, the manifestation of the supreme power, who rewrote the play of Auntie's life. Auntie's family and Auntie have experienced numerous incidents where they have called out to Guruji and have suddenly seen things fall into place, as if touched by a magic wand. Auntie once had the privilege of escorting more than half a dozen of friends to whom she had been singing the praises of the Guruji to meet Guruji. With her limited vision, she prevailed upon them to not ask for anything, though it was contrary to what she had done. When Auntie touched the feet of Guruji, Guruji looked at her and to her astonishment said that everyone came to him to ask for something. Like a divine mirror, Guruji apparently had caught the reflection of her mind, and each of her friends were blessed and their desires were fulfilled. No one who comes near him ever goes back empty-handed. Upon touching his feet, a businessman might be blessed with the prosperity, a sick man with the health, and a student with the knowledge. Some are aware of the gifts they receive, others ignorant of the hidden blessings. His love knows no bound and immaterial of whether you are a believer or a non-believer. His grace touches everyone. He makes no demands, asks you to keep no promises, but slowly his divine presence weaves magic and transforms you from within. Everyday people ridden with sorrow come in his presence, and his grace illumines their faces like a sudden rising of the sun over a sodden landscape. Thank you for listening. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji. Love you, Guruji.